Hi everybody, I'm Brian. This is the Apple Bias. If you've not watched any of my content before, I love everything Apple, Apple products, Apple accessories. I'm just a big Apple fanboy. And usually I talk about the good things that Apple has made and came out with or accessories, but today I'm going to be talking about the iPad Pro. And of course, like you've probably already seen, I cannot recommend this device. And that makes me sad because it's beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong, this screen is amazing. Like, the brightness levels that it gets to is way better than my M1 MacBook Pro. I really wish they would have put that display on there. It's just not enough because other than that, the screen and then center stage, there's really nothing that makes it worth it because the software's not there yet. And you probably have heard other YouTubers talk about WWDC coming next week, but I have a few different things to talk about with that because you don't want to buy hardware for software that's coming later. I've done it before. I bought the iPad last year and I used it for 11 months and just kept hoping, okay, they're gonna come out with Xcode. Xcode is the development software that Apple makes. They're going to come out with Xcode for the iPad. It's been rumored forever. Same thing with Final Cut Pro and all those Pro apps. They've been rumored for like the last 3 years and Apple still hasn't released them. This could be the year. It's not guaranteed because last year, you think about it, all we got on the iPad, like the big feature, was widgets. And I mean, they were like a half version of widgets. They weren't even what the iPhone got because the iPad is always like the stepchild to the iPhone. Like they never focus on it as much. So at best we get every other year. So this should be the year that we get some really cool iPad features and we'll know next week. But even though we can actually get the software next week for a developer, you know, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 weeks after that before you can as a public user. And then even after that, it's still beta. Like, I mean, beta software is usually pretty rough for the first 4 releases and then it starts getting better, but it's still not perfect, especially when it's a major release. I can't recommend buying this device, even though, like I said, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. And I've heard other YouTubers talk about, well, when you buy this one, you're future-proofing it. If you're anything like me, future-proofing just isn't a reason to buy an Apple device. And I feel like if you're watching this, if you're watching a channel called Apple Bias, you're probably more like me than just a regular consumer because you just love all things Apple. Either that or you're my mom. Thanks for watching, Mom. I love you. But let's just get down to it. Like future-proofing, like I'm gonna buy the next iPad. I'm gonna buy the next Apple Watch. I'm gonna buy the next iPhone. Like I'm gonna sell my old ones and I'm going to save up and buy the next one because I always want the latest and greatest when they count. Because usually Apple's really good at that. They're really good at making the purchase worth it. This is not worth it. It's just not. And I want it and I want to keep it because it's gorgeous, but it's not worth it. So at best, we're looking at September before we can really get the full usage of this. But if you think about it, by the time September comes around, you're going to be able to find this like $100 to $200 off depending on the specs. That's a lot of money in just a few months. So why buy it now when you can't even really use it to its full potential? My recommendation, if you really need an iPad, 2018 is still the way to go. You could buy a used one on eBay and then resell it in September and lose less money than you would buying a brand new one of these right now compared to what you probably could find one in September. So that's my take on it. I hope you guys have liked this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. If you have a legitimate reason, like leave a comment down below. What makes this iPad worth it? Because I'd love to have a talk because I think it'd be fun. I honestly cannot come up with a reason for why this thing is worth it right now. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next one. God bless.